Hello YouTube, my name's Andy and I've invented the Digitar. It's got its own built-in drumming effects. Reverb on it, we don't want that. It's about time the world of the electric guitar caught up with the digital age. After all, keyboards have been digital for a long time. Yeah, don't tell me the lockdown hair is just getting worse. I had one haircut in 2020 and it's not looking particularly like I'm going to get one soon in 2021. Look, I haven't really invented a digital guitar, but hey, why not? All I've done is taken the micro BR and blue tacked it to the back of the Stratoblaster. The reason for all this, oh God, I wanted to record the signal electronically that comes from the amplifier onto the BR800 unit, and I thought I could record it on the line, where is it? The line in on the back of there, taking the output, the headphone socket. It doesn't work. Well, it works, it just sounds awful. Now, I know I could perfectly well have used the built-in stereo condenser mics and recorded all of the ambient sounds, including the squeaky chair, which is not squeaking right now. Or I could have plugged a microphone into input 4 and recorded the actual sound coming out of the amplifier. But I wanted to do it digitally. I wanted to do it electronically, because I didn't want all of the ambient sounds, just what's coming out of the amplifier. So why didn't it work then, Andy? Well, if I'd stopped to think about it for a minute or two, just some basic elementary physics would have explained that it wasn't going to work. Right, so here's my attempt to represent a pure tone at 440 Hertz. That's the A above middle C according to the Stuttgart standard. That's 1/440th of a second, and the waveform is a smooth sinusoidal curve. But when it's recorded into digital equipment, like on a CD, that is broken up into small sections at a frequency known as the sampling rate. So now if I attempt to draw that wave in digital form, you can see that it's a series of steps, and these steps are every 44.1 thousandth of a second. Now your ears can't tell the difference between that and that, because the limit of human hearing is somewhere in the region of 18,000 Hertz, 18 kilohertz. If you're a bat, you'd probably be able to tell the difference between those really easily. The line in is not going to work because this is expecting a digital signal, and what it's getting out of the valves and the circuit boards and the capacitors and resistors and potentiometers in there is an analog signal. But it is expecting an analog signal from a microphone. So here's my little trick. You're going to like this, I hope. I happen to have this magical little gadget which splits a 3.5mm stereo plug into two 3.5mm mono plugs, and I have an adapter that converts from 3.5mm mono into 1/4 inch mono. It doesn't matter whether I use the left channel or the right channel, because this device with its valves and capacitors, even though it's got a headphone socket out that's a stereo socket, it's a mono device. It only outputs a mono signal. So we're getting exactly the same signal out of the left earphone or the right earphone. And I've plugged that in to input 4. So in theory, we should be able to record electronically the sound of the Marshall amp on here. Let's give it a go. Sounds awful. Well, you get the idea. That's it for the proof of concept. It works, but the results are not particularly stunning. One little postscript to add to that is the fact that there is a whole different bank of effects that can be applied to microphone input or line in input, and we'll explore those in a future episode of BR800 Travels. Thanks very much. Cheers then. Bye.